So what you end up doing is you turn on the ignition, hook up the cord to the car. It'll be in USB link.
Okay.
If it's online, it won't let you download it because it just grays things out.
Okay.
So if it's grayed out, you gotta just go in USB link.
Okay.
You'll download ECU data logs. You'll go down to the very last one, highlight it, download. It'll automatically pop open.
Okay.
Like so. Alright? So what we're really looking for is you're always looking for what our closed loop compensation is.
Okay.
Is what's important. So is it added fuel, whatever it takes in order to meet target.
Right.
So here it was adding 44% fuel to meet target, and went all the way up to 59%, 63%, just to keep it in target. So
Okay.
we're gonna have to change that. Now so we keep TPS up here so you can see where the TPS is at wide open throttle.
Okay.
When we have your trans brake all enabled, and you leave off trans brake, you can come in here and you'll select where your trans brake was let go of.
Right.
You can set that as 0
Okay.
by going up here to your tools, set 0 time.
Okay.
Then that would be 0, and then you'd be able to see any kind of timing functions if it spun the tire at 60 foot out.
Okay.
Or you can start going, okay, from here to here, and then you know when to look at your timing retards and stuff like that. All right. So right here, we're definitely adding a whole bunch of fuel. So that's fine, only 8% right there at 4,700. We'll look at our fuel pressure. So our fuel pressure is boost referencing. It says 54 right up there. We make, let's make 16 pounds of boost right there.
Okay.
With no wastegate pressure. 20 pounds of boost right there.
Oh wow.
What's up, man?
You gotta make a look at this.
Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, let me look at that. I'll have to figure out what's going on there, or why it's making boosts. So much boost. Do you know what wastegate spring is in it?
9 pounds.
Why don't you go ahead and hook up your battery charger to this thing too?
Yeah,
No,
that's
it's a little
the
air pump.
air pump. Instead of running CO2 for the wastegate, got an air pump back there. Which we don't have a tank on that, but it's a constant. It keeps constant pressure. Should we have a tank on that then?
I
Or?
would probably have a little tank on it, just so it's like a pressure diaphragm in a
Right.
water pump, you know,
Okay.
in your house.
Yeah, because I heard you ask him about a tank, and it's a powerful little pump that he's got back there, but I didn't know if it should have a reserve tank to where maybe that's not giving enough pressure for the
or
wastegate.
can't quite keep up.
That's what I was wondering, if it cycled. Oops.
basically the same power, so it didn't seem like that.
It went down some, but it sounded a lot better for some reason. It sounded like when it got up there, it didn't just kind of flatline hang like the first time you did it.
So all that looks normal. Yeah, I made 8 pounds of boost. No dome pressure.
Okay.
So dome pressure was not activating. Yes is right. Closed loop compensations within 4%, so 3%.
Okay.
It'll always be something. You can't make it perfect. -2, -4. I like to keep it within 10 or 10 plus or minus. Then
Okay.
I don't do anything. If you come in, you look at a data log, and all of a sudden the thing is correcting 50%, stop. There's something
Okay.
wrong.
Something
Something changed. Here, so the tune-up is looking right. Everything's looking good through there. No boost yet. We just need to figure out what's going on with the boost controller.
Okay.
I noticed.
Oh, I didn't have the fan on.
Yeah.
Yep, so that's what's going on with the boost controller.
I didn't know if you were actually doing one on the wastegate since the last
Well, that's
one
all right, because
didn't
now we got all our wastegate information right there. It all looks good. Yep. 55 pounds of oil pressure. All right. So everything's looking good so far right there. All right, now let's turn the fans on. So here that thing's all still
Right.
highlighted.
Delete it. Gone.
Now there's nothing there. Now we'll have one clean.
But it's
clean
already
photo
in the
come back.
computer, so you can go
It's
back
already in
and.
the laptop. Yep. You'll be
Okay.
able to still look at it.
Perfect.
All right.
So all we're doing is just removing it from the ECM then.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
No problem.
All right.
Yeah. That's a little bit better.
870?
Yeah, 870 from 635.
What's that?
I said from 635 to 870. Yeah, that's.
You could hear it making boost there.
Yeah, I heard that
So-
that time.
I mean, you don't have a positive stop on your wide open throttle. You're gonna break the cable or break the throttle body.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out where is that wide open throttle right there? Can't
I
move
think so.
anything more.
Yep. Good. Yep. Sorry. Thought you were going behind me.
Yep. And your since your brakes
pedals.
drag, you ought to put a return spring on your brake. Really cranks over slow, so your you just don't have enough battery in it.
Go with 16 then.
All right, so here's our data log. It just all popped up.
Okay.
If you left click and then drag,
Right.
it'll zoom in on that area.
Isolating that area.
Yeah. So our oil pressure looks fine. Our battery voltage is okay, 12.9 with that battery charger on, which is telling us that the alternator's not working. Dome pressure was 10 psi. Dome pressure.
Okay. What boost did we build then? 19.
Why it was- it's 10 to 12 all the way. It shouldn't have been. Where are we at here? Okay, I'm calling for 5 pounds and it was making 10, so I think why that's doing that. Can you verify that it's a 100 psi sensor on the
Yeah, it is.
dome? It is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's 100. Yeah, I remember I had to take pictures last time. It was 100.
So that made 17 pounds of boost. With
That was
10
17?
with 10 pounds on the gate.
Okay.
But I'm not calling for 10 pounds on the gate, so
Bless you.
you can figure out why it's doing that. Which is sitting on dome control. Control method dome pressure only. Okay, so something else is on here. So even though I'm calling for 0, it's still making it go to 10.
Okay.
So I think something is wired up wrong here. So what it's doing is it's probably building trans brake boost. Yeah, it thinks the trans brake's on the whole time here. The trans brake green dot. So it overrides everything.
Would that be why the bump won't work on it?
Mm-hmm.
Because he hits the bump button and it wants to, all of a sudden it'll just start
Full
rolling
release.
forward, full release.
Yep, nope, it's wired up wrong.
Oh, great.
So
Yep, I know.
I think I want to disable that.
Yeah, that was his wiring job, not ours.
It's not in there. So input.
See, I noticed that the last time we were in there too. It didn't show an input for it.
Well, that's the dome, which is right. This is your trans brake launch, rev limiter 1. Your rev limiter 1 works though? Oh, it's on 2 different. So your staging is on A4. your trans brake is on A3, which normally it's always, the trans brake should be on your A13. So let's disable that.
So it's trans brakes wired wrong, or the bump button? Because
Well,
he had the trans brake wired right, but then when he got the relay for the bump button and the, what is it, the, I can't think of the relay.
Pulse width
Yeah,
model,
the PWM relay.
solid state.
And he was like, well, something about we can't use that or something. And then he said, no, we can use it, just wire it in like this. And it just didn't seem right. Something didn't seem right.
well, the trans brake, let's see here. Alright, where's your trans brake button?
Right on the shifter.
Yeah, so,
Right here?
Yep.
oh, actually, that's where I gotta have a freaking light on for that to work.
Okay. So it's, okay. So the,
Is it not detecting it, or?
no, because I have it turned off.
Oh, okay.
If I bring it back down. It thinks the trans brake is on right now.
Hmm. Wonder if that
So that's,
relay's hung.
no, because the trans brake isn't on.
Right.
It just thinks the trans brake is on. So the signals that it's getting are,
Well, he had you wire it reverse, wasn't it? Negative. Yeah, that's what it was. He said you don't want to send a positive input to the ECM. You got to wire it negative input or negative trigger.
well, you do, but it's on it's on the high side, which means it's on positive right now.
Oh.
Yeah. It thinks it's on positive. Let's see. I think I could probably fix that.
Turn this. Oh, okay.
Negative 10%, so you could actually take a little bit of fuel out.
Well, that's the biggest number we've seen yet, the 870. So It sure the hell sounded healthy as hell at that.
Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Alright. Damn.
Yeah, you really need to fix those throttle pedals before you get killed.
Is it sticking?
Put a positive stop on it. That little cable that's out there falls off. It can do a lot of crap. It's not really a good way of doing that. But when this thing, you mash it, you're standing on it like you're trying to press it through the floor. It better
Right.
stop.
Right.
So otherwise, you're gonna have problems here.
Okay.
And you can hear how slow it cranks.
Mm-hmm.
So these things are always gonna have a problem starting because it drops below 11 volts in
Okay.
cranking. It's always gonna have a problem starting.
Don't make no damn sense. All of a sudden it started doing that again.
Alright, so that made 19 pounds of boost. I turned up the boost just a tick.
Okay.
It shut off at 20 anyways, and 20 is a nice safe spot. I guess
Right.
906 at the putt tire.
Yeah.
Yep. Now we look at our closed loop compensation, which is just what it took to make target.
Mm-hmm.
-3, -4,
Okay.
-2, 5, 6, 7. Little spot right there. It could add a little bit of fuel. When you want to add fuel at it, you can just minimize it. We'll delete all those. And it's right there.
Okay.
See the dot? So right there, it was just a tick lean. Not much. We're just going to add 5% fuel right there.
Okay.
All done. But otherwise, that is all looking pretty good. And it's going to be lazy right there because it just takes that long for it to build boost.
Mm-hmm.
The turbo is pretty big for that small motor. So without doing timing functions and a lot of other things, that's pretty much just what it is.
Okay.
But once you're able to leave, I mean, I'm just driving, it's at
Right.
0 boost and I'm whacking the throttle. It takes time to just build. So, but on trans brake, you'd be able to get this up and leave at 10 psi of boost.
Okay.
Leave whatever boost you need to leave at, and then control boost from there. Because once it's spooled up and making boost, you can do whatever you want to it. Okay. So everything looks really good right there. I'm happy with all of that. And the boost control did exactly what it was supposed to, because it doesn't think the trans brake is on. The tune looks right. I just fixed that one spot, so that's good. We can go up here and you can see that little spot that I added fuel to.
Right.
And we'll just smooth that spot out just a little bit. Just kind of rounds corners off.
Okay.
All right. So there's everything good on the tune-up. Tune-up's cool.
Cool.
Wouldn't F with it.
Okay.
It's a nice, good, safe spot. I mean, that's, you know, good power. They could probably make one, but that's really a lot harder. Your duty cycle is only 72% right there. So right on the money. So what I'll do now is I'll set up your the advanced table, so when you have the trans brake wired right,
Okay.
it'll work.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're going to set up a boost builder function. We do not use the boost builder that they give you
Okay.
because it sucks.
Okay.
Alright, so we'll go up here and we'll add configuration. We had added advanced table.
Okay.
Okay, which is this little graph section up here. So we're going to build a 2D table. I'm going to call it Boost Builder. And that is a timing offset. Timing offset. And Ryan will actually show you how to do this in those Holly videos too. He has a whole segment on this deal.
Yeah, I've been watching his stuff to kind of.
Yep. So our x-axis will be RPM. Our y-axis will be boost. Boost. And we'll switch the enable. This table will activate when trans brake launch
Okay.
is enabled. Secondary enable will be TPS, because this thing probably can only work go in reverse, obviously, when the trans brake is. Okay, so he's got something wrong because the trans brake has been working, right? And
Yeah.
And reverse works.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just wired into the wrong spot, or something's going on with that particular wire.
Okay.
And I've changed changed some stuff in there, so it's not going to have reverse right now when we.
Oh no,
Drive it out of here.
this doesn't have to be pushed for reverse.
Oh, it does not have.
No.
Okay,
No.
gotcha.
Alright, sorry.
All right. So boost RPM, and this will only activate when the TPS is above 80%.
Okay.
So, all right, now to set up our boost, we'll make this like 15 psi. Column. We'll make this like 4,500 psi. Or, I'm sorry, 4,500 RPM, because you're really unlikely you're gonna ever launch the car at higher than 4,500.
Right.
Okay. So what you're doing is, as this thing RPMs, meeting its criteria of over 80% TPS, as soon as it hits, we're gonna say like 3,600 RPM and 2 pounds of boost, you start taking timing out of it.
Okay.
As we start taking timing out of it, it makes the exhaust temperature hotter, makes the exhaust gas flow faster, makes the turbo spool.
Okay.
So anytime that these cars are going in and they're building boost, they're just knocking all the timing out of it. But this way, we're knocking the timing out of it gradually. Instead of in your boost configuration table up here, dual turbo, it allows you to have a boost builder, and if you had it programmed to take 10 degrees of timing out, it goes from full timing to 10 degrees out. And that's when you'll hear a car go, and that's wrong. This way, it's going to go in there and just stay there and do the whole deal. Okay? So we start taking out timing here, and then we'll say, all right, we want it to make 9 or 10 pounds of boost. So we'll put like, actually I'll put like 15. Negative 15. Oops, sorry. And we'll interpolate in between those two. So you can see as The engine RPM comes over here, gets above 3,600, which is pretty close to where you're getting. I think actually I'll make this around a 33 here. Hold on one second. Right. So the engine RPM comes up here, and as it starts even building any kind of boost, all of a sudden it starts taking timing out, and it just keeps on multiplying. It has a real funny effect that you can see that right here, we're taking 15 degrees of timing out at 8 and not taking any out at 9.
Right.
It'll sit there and hover. As soon as it hits timing, it cools the exhaust, slows the turbo down, and
Right.
so fast you can't even tell it's doing it, but it'll sit there and it'll be bouncing in between the timing numbers and control the boost where you want it to be. If you want it to leave a higher boost, you would just do the next row up.
Okay.
Okay. Now it'll go to 10 psi before it puts any timing back into it, and it'll just hover right there.
Okay.
Now you have to kind of experiment with it, and that's what I would have done if we could have everything all wired up.
Right.
But you experiment a little bit with it. You'll want to see where the car wants to leave, how much boost, what RPM it wants to leave. But this will enable you to have this nice smooth. You put it on trans brake, you start building boost. You can hear the car building boost. Then you start bumping in. By the time you bump in and you're all in there, it'll be up at that boost level.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. So it acts real nice, real smooth.
So that explains why when he was trying to spool up, it was like.
Probably it was probably knocking the timing out of it, and then it would see that there was no boost, and then it put the timing back in it. And
Okay. Yeah,
so
'cause
instead of being smooth and gradual.
Yeah, it never sounded like you hear everyone else, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you were saying, you know, where it goes up, you
Right.
hear it start spooling up. Never heard the spool sound ever.
Yep. So what we'll need to do is that ground wire, or that button right there, needs to send a ground signal to the
Okay.
transmitter button to turn it on, and not a positive signal.
Okay.
So you have to get the solenoid all swapped around so it's ground firing it. If you do it positive, we just have to figure out another little way of doing it. But if you keep it ground, it keeps it simpler.
Well, I think that's how you got it, isn't it?
That's how I have it in here right now, but that's
Yeah.
not the way it was. It was
Oh,
set
right.
up as a positive, and it was always on. So it's getting some kind of signal there. Okay?
How that is.
Alright, so I got this saved here. Why don't you go ahead and grab your laptop, and we'll download this into your laptop.
All right.
Go ahead and hook it all up.
All right.
Born to ride, riding and sleeping down in the 6-5. Hour long, on the run, double barrel cock back on that shotgun. Hour long, don't want his son to lock you up and take away that gun. It's hour long, hold up the gun, oh piss me off, you can come get some.